Hello and welcome to Prego Coding Classes. This is Amber Roy. This video is going to be a part of the beginners tutorial series. Now this video is being specially made for RIP Anto, who has made a comment lately asking me to make a tutorial with payments and Firebase. So I have made a lot of videos with Firebase. One of them is still on the process, that is the basic chat app. Now in this video I will only show you how to integrate the PayPal payments method. Let's first see what we can expect to learn through this video. So as you can see here, it's a very simple application with a payments button which says press to pay. When we press it, the PayPal intent opens up and it's checking for the device. When it completes checking for the device, there are two methods. One is pay with card, the second one is pay with PayPal. I'll click PayPal and here it is asking me how I need to pay. I need to log in my PayPal ID. Now this is a test ID. We will come back to it when I'll teach. So let me just log in. When I hit the login, it takes me to the payments page. So it is asking me the preferred funding source, that is my PayPal balance. Now this is, as I said, is a test payment method. So let's pay. And after it is successful, it says payment made successfully. That's it what we are going to learn. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So I have already created a new project whose name is PayPal Payment Test. And in here, we'll go to the layout. And in the text tab, we'll just design our layout first. So we'll get rid of the constraint part. And we'll say linear layout. I just want to make it very simple and fast. So in the background, we'll say #000, which gives it a black background. And in the text view, we'll just give it, first let's get rid of the constraints. Then we'll set a color for the text, which will be white. So #FFF is white. Then we'll give it a size of 22 SP and let's align the text to center and we'll also give it a padding of 10 dp. So orientation should be vertical over here, which I missed. Orientation is vertical and everything else is fine. So we'll just give it a top margin of, let's say, 250 dp. And let's see, this width should be match parent, else the alignment won't work. That's it, it's in the center. Now we'll again copy this text and paste it below. And we'll write, instead of hello world, we'll write here PayPal payment method. In here we'll write please press the button below to pay $100 and we'll get rid of the 250 dp, the margin top over here. Okay, and underneath we'll give it a button of let's say 150 dp and height of wrap content, and background we'll first give it white, then we can change it from here. We'll give it a blue and we'll give it a text of press to pay, and then we'll align it center, so gravity should be center, and we'll give it a margin top of 30 dp. Now that's it, which we need in the designing of the layout. Then we'll give this button an ID. Now ID would be, let's give it payment let's give it payment button, and we'll go to our main activity.java, and over here we'll say private button is payment button, and underneath we'll say, I'm not making another method just to cast the component, I'm trying to make it a little quicker. So we'll just say over here cast component, and underneath we'll say payment button equals, we won't write button like this because that's not needed after updates. So we'll just directly write over here find view by id r.id.payment button. Now that's done. As we have casted our component, now let's jump into the PayPal developer page so that we can go through all the methods that is needed for the payments to get completed in our Android application. Now this is our developer paypal.com page where we need to do all the stuff. So as you can see here, this is my name that is showing over here, but if you're not registered to PayPal developers page or developers already, you need to register first. So I've already registered. So over here, instead of my name, if you're not registered, they will show the create an account and all. So as I've registered over here, I'll jump into the dashboard. And in the dashboard, I'll go to my apps and credentials. So in my apps and credentials, you can see that there is already an app which I've used to run the app I was showing for test purposes. So that is already created, but you can obviously create a new app. So to create a new app, you need to hit the create app button. Over here, you just need to give your app name like payment test or anything you like. So you need to also select your sandbox business account and just hit create app and it will create an app. So let's just jump into my apps. And we need a client ID to work with our Android Studio. And for that, we need to click this app name over here. But first, let's go to Sandbox Accounts. Now in Sandbox Accounts, these are the accounts I have created to test my ID. Now Sandbox means test. We are not making this app to go live right now. So you can obviously create an account and give it a fund of $2,000 or $3,000 and you can spend that money, that test money on your application. So for now, I'll go to my apps and I've already created. So let's hit payment test, my application name. And over here, you can see your Sandbox account and your client ID that is showing here. Now over in the top, you can see the Sandbox is highlighted and there is also a live. So you won't work with the live because the live client ID is what you need for the final, when you publish your application for the final time or release your application in the Play Store or anywhere else on any other app stores. So for now, we are just using the Sandbox. So we need this client ID over here. So let's copy it first. And let's jump into our Android Studio. And over here, we'll create a new Java class. And we'll say, name this class as PayPal client ID config class. You can name anything you want. I'm just naming it as I want. So let's hit OK. And over here we'll say underneath public static final string PayPal client ID equals my client ID. So after I've given my client ID, we'll jump right into the main activity and start working in the main activity. So before starting this main activity, let's just go to our module level guild. And in the guild, we'll just paste our PayPal dependency. Now you can pause this video and see the dependency and just write it in your Android Studio module level Gradle. And as I have written it over here, I'll just sync it. So after syncing has been done, just make sure that the minimum SDK version is more than 16 and not less than that. So my minimum SDK version is 21. So let's just close this one and go to our main activity. Underneath the payments button cast components, we'll say payments button dot set on click listener, new view on click listener. Over here we'll just create a random method like PayPal payments method with first bracket open and close and semicolon, and we'll create this method in this same class, create method, and in the main activity over here we'll say PayPal payment equals new PayPal payment semicolon. In here we'll say new big decimal, which is I'm taking $100, but you can take anything you want. You can take 50, you can take 1,000, anything you want, whatever suits your program. So after that we need a currency. For this one I'll use a US dollar, but you can use INR as Indian rupees, but I'm using US dollars. And then we need our application name. For that you're taking the payment, or the thing you're taking the payment for. So I'll just say test payment, and then we'll say PayPal payment dot for intent sale. Now as this is done, let's go up, and we need two variables over here. There is private int PayPal request code equals, you can give any request code. I'll give 12. And then what we need is private PayPal configuration. Let's say PayPal config equals new PayPal configuration. We'll just make it static because this is non-changeable. So underneath we'll say dot environment of PayPal configuration dot environment sandbox. We'll select this one. Now you can select any other environment also. I'm just using it for test purposes. So this code over here, the environment sandbox, this environment sandbox tells the program that this is for test purposes only. Now we can also use dot environment production. Now this will tell the program that this program is ready to be set as live, so that we can use the live client ID over here and not the test client ID. So this should be ready for release and into your Play Store. So over here we'll just use the sandbox, because as I said, it is for test purposes. And underneath we'll say dot client ID is let's see over here, PayPal client ID config. So over here we'll say PayPal client ID config class dot PayPal client ID. This is where we have stored our sandbox client ID that we have got from the developer's PayPal page. Now this variable is ready to be used, and we have also created a request code, because we are creating this request code because we will be creating intent for results. So underneath this payment variable we'll write intent equals, we need to press over here alt enter just to import the class. New intent, we'll say this comma payment activity dot class. Now you must be wondering, where did we create the payment activity? Well, we don't have to create it. PayPal understands it by itself, or the program understands it by itself. and opens the payment activity that is customly created in the dependency that you have imported. So we need to put some extras over here also. So intent.put extra, just use the semicolon first. In the put extra, we'll say PayPal service dot extra PayPal configuration, comma, the configuration over here, that is the PayPal config, and then again we'll put an extra. So intent dot put extra, and we'll write here payment activity dot extra payment, comma, payment, that is this one, this variable. Now we'll give a semicolon and we'll start this activity for result, and we'll say intent, comma, PayPal request code. Now we need another thing, we need to start a service on the onCreate. So we'll say intent equals new intent, the same that we did before this, comma, PayPal payment activity dot class, and then we need to put extra over here also, put extra, let's put a semicolon, and we'll say here PayPal service dot extra PayPal configuration, comma, PayPal config, and we'll start the service, which is the intent. As we are starting this service, we need to stop this service also. So where we can stop this service, we'll just write here on destroy, and before the super we need to write stop service new intent this, comma, PayPal service dot class. Okay, one more mistake that I did in the top is this should be payment service and not PayPal service and not payment activity. So we're starting this PayPal service over here and we're stopping this PayPal service in the on destroy. Now we can jump onto on activity result because we are asking for result in the start activity. So on activity result, and down below we'll write if request code is equals to PayPal request code. Now why we are checking the request code, because in the same Java class you might have other request codes or other start activity for results also. So you can use different request codes for different activities. Now for this PayPal I'm using the request code of 12. Now if I would have been uploading images, I would have used a request code of 1 or 2, not 12, anything else than 12. So in the on activity result we are checking if the request code is equals to the PayPal request code and not something else. So this is a good practice. Please adopt this practice and this will help you in a long run. So underneath the request code will check if result code equals activity dot result OK, else this. So what this line of code does is it checks for the result code. Now if the payment is complete, if the user has completed every step that is needed to complete the payment, it returns a result code of result OK. So we are checking it for result OK. If the result is OK, if the user has completed the payments part, so we can say payment made successfully, and we'll show it for long And if from any point of time, if the user returns to the main page or gets exited from the payments page, we'll say payment is unsuccessful. Okay, now that's it what we need to do. So we have got the result and we have done all the payment and stuff. So that's it. Let's run the program and see. So my program has fired up, and as you can see here, there's a button which says press to pay. If I press this button, it takes me to the payments page of PayPal, and there should be two options with pay with PayPal and credit card. As I've logged in my ID already in the previous session, there is my ID over here, and it is asking me for my preferred funding source. So previously I've used my PayPal balance, but now I'll use another source which are pre-built in the funding source page. I'll use a Visa card, and as I've said, this is just for the testing purpose. These are not real. So I'll pay, and as you can see here, there's this test payment name. Now you can obviously change that name from the code over here. So if you write here Prego Coding Classes donation, that name will change to Prego Coding Classes donation. Now I have used PayPal because I do not like the integration of Paytm over PayPal, and this is my personal view. So that's it for this video. Follow me on Twitter on my Twitter handle, that is @codingprego, which is given in the description box down below with the source code of this program. And if you want to support this channel with any sort of donations of any amount, the donation links are also given in the description box. Do check them out. I would love to see and work on more ideas from you people. So comment down below your ideas, and who knows, your idea may become my next content. So that's it. See you all in the next video. Bye bye and God bless. If you have liked the video, hit the like button, then the subscribe button, and then the bell icon.